Hi. So this is the first screencast in our series on Selenium-based integration tests. And in this one, we'll focus on more or less pure Selenium API and some know-hows. So let's jump right in. I'm going to create a blank console app and just install a couple of Selenium packages and get going. Right. So everything in Selenium revolves around the driver. So you can think of this as a proxy around the browser, which kind of is programmatically accessible. So creating a new instance and say we want to go to something called localhost. Just going to run. What happens? A WebDriver instance is created. A WebDriver browser is launched, and it does what we want it to do. Okay. I'm just gonna put console read key so that it doesn't just go away. Let's make it do something else. Let's see. Let's see if we can automate the login to Catalyst. So for that, we need to target a couple of web elements and then submit a form. So say we find that this is an input of username, ID, and password is password. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to do that. So let's find that element. So we're finding that username input driver. Find element by ID, username, element by password, and we're gonna fill it in with our data. So in Selenium you send text or input for send keys API, and we want something like that. And then password, so password. Okay, and then we're gonna submit the form, and you can call submit on any elements in the form. All right, running that. Boom, boom. And we're logged in. So say we're writing a useful test. At this point, we want to check that we did something useful and testable happens. So for example, we want to look for built-in. We want to my Firebug. Oh, there. Okay, so we want to find that header and check that the content we want is inside. But the header, the h1, doesn't have an ID or a class by which we can find it. We can, however, do it through its parent container div, which has a pretty unique ID. So, and with that, we can use the XPath targeting feature in Selenium. So if I close that and var header driver find element by XPath, I'm going to say div with ID, close that that container, and the child is h1. So that should give us the header. And we're going to see if the inside of the header text is what we want. We can possibly test for that later. Alright, so there it is. That's the My Communities text, the inner text from that header, which is what we wanted. Okay, now we want to keep going with the login process. We want to log in and proceed to Communities homepage, but we have a bunch of them here. So of course we can hard code Cafe Gourmet, but we can also find the element and sort of follow that link as if a user would do, instead of hard coding it. So here we have the same problem. So the A tag doesn't have anything unique here. If you're a developer, you can add some unique ID or classes at this point, but assume you cannot modify the markup. So we have to work with what we've got. And the reasonable XPath would be find all elements, all A tags under spans with this class name of community name. So we're going to do that here. For example, our community links, driver, find elements, because there'll be many, XPath, div, was a class, right? Class equals that and A. So that should give us everything. And then we're going to say, you know what, let's pick first, or Cafe Gourmet, or follow some rules. So Cafe Gourmet URL is going to be community links first, something like X text Cafe Gourmet, and now we're getting an actual link here. Let's print that. Okay, run. Sequence contains problem. Something is off div. Okay. So I think there was a span, not div, in here. So that's why it didn't work. Let's fix that. And there it is. Okay. So at this point, we actually can follow that. And earlier we just assigned a new value to the URL in the driver, but you can also use a navigate property, which navigate getter, which gives you iNavigation interface, and then you can do that. I am actually not sure about the difference, but that's another way to go somewhere else. So assume, let's see if this works. So this should bring us to the home page. Okay, so I will stop at that point and we'll do something a little bit more on the home page and around the navigation in the next screencast. See you.